And away we go. Good damn morning, everybody. How you doing? Happy Thursday. Also known as FTG Thursday around here. I'll turn that music down. Thank you. Happy, I was, I'm all prepared to talk about Dr. Anthony Fauci because he's a piece of, excrement. And that's why the title says that up there. But there's something interesting going on in Scott County, Iowa, which I know where Scott County, Iowa is, and I just noticed it. So I'm gonna pop into this in a minute when we get off the screen. The debate last night, the Republican debate between that ended up being Justice DeSantis and Nikki Haley was a yawner, and they're both not very good on the debate stage. And I like Ron DeSantis, but boy, oh boy, not a great thing. Anyway, and so I'm not going to even get into that too much, but something that Vivek is doing this morning kind of threw me off guard. And I'll show you that in a minute after we start the show. But for now, Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yes, thank you, Alyssa, for that lovely introduction. Stop the music. Here we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome to the P-Dog Knight channel on this 11th of January 2024, Thursday, also known around here as FTG Thursday. If you don't know what that is, ask somebody in the chat, because boy, oh boy, one of the biggest FTGs of the century we're going to talk about today, and that would be that guy, but not me, but the guy on the other side, him over there, Dr. Anthony Fauci. Holy Christ, is he a piece of crap? And based on reason I'm talking about him today is because I saw some stuff about some congressional testimony he had over the last couple days, and boy, there's some incredible little nuggets that came out of that. And a lot of people are talking about it. I think more people should be talking about it. And I'm trying to see if it's in my... Oh, it's not. Why is it not in my aggregator's not talking about it that much? But it doesn't matter. It's mind-boggling how this guy is not in jail. I'm just saying. He's unbelievable. So, there's a whole lot of other stuff I could be talking about, and Gunfox has a bunch of great articles on Discord and on Twitter. There's tons in my aggregator, but I gotta talk about him. But also, I want to see this thing that's happening right now. We'll just take a glimpse of it. And it just happens to be live right now, so that's why I want to put it on. It's Vivek Ramaswamy is doing an event in Iowa, and it's something about but it's featuring Candace Owens, and I'm like, what? What's going on here? And me, I'm not a fan of Candace. I think Candace is look, she knows the talking points. I don't think she's as smart as everyone thinks she is, but she's very good at memorizing talking points. But when she gets caught off guard, she says some dumb shit. But whatever. So anyway, here's this event. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Let me get this. I wanted this full screen though. There we go. So let's see what's going on in this event. Oh wait, what the hell? Why won't it go full screen? Give me a second here. There's something going on. Okay. Yeah, let's put this on live for a second here. I want to see what they're talking about. Boy, this feed is not working very well. I wonder if Well, here it is. Here's the picture of it on the screen. But unfortunately, this thing is not working. And I know I have plenty of bandwidth. I know that because I know my speeds are very high. Well, what the hell? Let's try it. Let's try and minimize it. Okay, man. Well, I'm not going to find out. But I'm wondering what the hell this is all about. Wait. When is Candace Owens on the Vivek bandwagon now? Or is this something that's just going to be, okay, now this is freezing up my entire computer now. Anyway, let's, I'm just going to close it. Okay, I guess I'm not going to do that. Never mind. But, I'm going to go back and watch that and find out what the hell that's all about. But let's say hi to everybody. Cause I, that's what I do. And then we'll get into the show. First in the chat Rumble took a dump this morning again. And I think it's because when I put in the stream key for Rumble, I may not hit save. So that's a possibility. I went back and it looked like the right one, but who knows? So anyway, first in the chat on Rumble would be Avocados Diablo. I'm going to give you the bell, okay? And you get your due. But that's all because I already closed the Rumble window. So I can't even, it looks like I can't even, I can't even see who's on the chat right there. Let me see my content. Let's see. It's supposed to be, oh, there it is. All right. Here's the people who, and then I open it up and there's no one there. So never mind. Oh, there it is. Mike Savage. Thanks for joining me over there too. I apologize for those who watch on Rumble. It's not happening today. And it says there's 5 viewers over there, but no, you're not over there because, YouTube only today, but I put it in the chat in case anyone pops in over there. All right, so Kay, thank you for being the first sponsor today. Kay, how are you doing, my dear? I was going to call you today because I wanted to see how you're doing, and but you're in the chat, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, I hope you're doing well after your hospitalization and everything's going well. Good. All right, let's jump into the chat on YouTube, though. First in the chat on YouTube, Somnambul Nation gets the bell. Way to go. Congratulations. You are the first in the chat. Also, good morning, another guy, V. Avocados Diablo is here. Liz, good morning also to Septus Wolf. Nice to see you. Also, good morning to none other than Tyre Alexander, the gentleman. Good morning, sir. Also, good morning, Trippin' Liberty. What's up, my brothers? Good morning, also, Mike Savage, Blarg. Lord Stanhope's in the house. Nice to see you. Simon Wolfwood. I said Septus Wolf already. Nomad's in the house. Also, good morning, Special K on Acid. Maddie's here. Good morning. And also, TC's in the house. Balin Bobby, nice to have you back. Good morning also to... let's see. Anonymity. T2, I'll be back, is here in the house. Tyler F is here. Those Ain't Real Dude, good morning. And Kay, of course, first sponsor of the show today. You are awesome. Also, with a little not so happy face. That's a kind of a face. It must be the face for Candace Owens. Also, good morning, Rod Line. Welcome back. Good morning, Frank Cap. Nice to see you again. Paulissa, a.k.a. my lovely daughter. And also, good morning to Lily. Hi, Lily. Hi, baby girl. Nice to see you. Hi, honey. Because Alyssa says to say hi to your granddaughter. So I did. Good morning, Lily. Hi, sweetie. Love you. Okay. Also, good morning to, who else is here? Is that everybody? That's everybody. Oh, and T-Ball. What's up? So we have the Republican Hillary Clinton and Soros DeSantis last night, huh? I don't think DeSantis is a Soros guy. Believe me. Look, I know he's a stiff, and he's not the greatest debate face on the earth. But let's just say, as the governor of Florida, he's done just fine. Okay. Regardless, I don't think he's ready to be the president, or at least, well, he's not going to be the president because right now there's a 1,000-pound gorilla in that sea. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, but I'm fine with DeSantis. He just doesn't have a lot of charisma, but clearly he made it to be the governor of Florida. He's doing things that Republicans do in Florida, and I have no problem with him. But there's interesting, last night it was supposed, and Nikki Haley, oh, good Lord, woman. They made mistakes. I'm not going to get into that because I would love to get into that debate. In fact, here's what you do. If you really want to go through an analysis of the debate, go to Ranting Monkey's channel and watch his replay from last night. Now, it was really long because they stopped the debate and back and forth and whatnot. But it was, oh my God, every part of it that I saw was just annoying. And boy, God forbid, Nikki Haley becomes the nominee, even though she could probably beat Joe Biden. But right now, anybody could beat Joe Biden. Joe Biden is, and again, my prediction that Joe Biden will not be the nominee come November. I think it's still on schedule. Not on schedule, but it's behind schedule, but it's certainly still going to happen in a scenario that, look, let's put it this way. The Democrats do not want Joe Biden to run anymore. They may be saying rah, rah, yay, rah, Joe on the surface, but boy, oh boy, when Michelle Obama was saying that, oh, this doesn't look good, and other people are, big name Democrats are saying, no, this doesn't look good. I don't believe that Joe Biden's going to be there come November. They're going to get him out of the paint. Now, the only other question on that is something going to happen to Trump too that makes it so he can't be the nominee? Are they going to, look, right now Trump on the Republican side is absolutely the front runner. And are they going to pull some crap to get him out? They're trying already. They tried in Colorado. They tried in Maine. I don't think the Supreme Court can legitimately not knock those decisions down. And because people, talking 14th Amendment, don't want to read the whole 14th Amendment. They only want to read Section 3. Well, Section 5 makes it clear Congress is the one who executes the enforcement of the 14th Amendment, either through legislation or legislative act or through actual legislation, which they've done. And the first section of the 14th Amendment says due process. There's been no due process. A court in Colorado making a so-called finding of fact that Donald Trump was in part of an insurrection doesn't cut it. That's not, saying, because a lot of people say, oh, it's self-executing. No, it's not. It's self-executing if there's determination that someone was involved in an insurrection. The reason the 8 Civil War veterans that got removed from ability to run for office after the Civil War is because there was an act of Congress on those people. And then later there was an act of Congress called legislation, US 182383, I think it is. So that's a whole nother thing. Episkopos Egipiste. Good morning. I can never say the last part of that. All right, so here's the okay. So anyway, enough about that crap. I don't want to talk about that. I'm still curious about this thing though that's going on in Iowa. What is this? That's Twitter home. It's over. Oh, that's probably why it was over. It was already done. And let me see if Scott Adams pops up here. If his let's try him. Let's see if this works.
Strength. Many of you are supporting her.
Okay, so yeah,
So in the comments.
Okay, never mind.
Can you tell me how many?
It's just because that event was over. I'm trying to figure out. Well, what the hell? Let me see something here. Breaking. Trump said he already knows who his VP is going to be. This is do a poll on who should be his VP. Who should Donald Trump vice president be? Oh my God. Okay, this is funny because I'm just rambling, but this is funny. So New York Republican says Trump says he already knows who his vice president should be. And so someone said, do a poll. Who should be Trump's vice president? Here's the poll they put up. Who should be Trump's vice president? Kristi Noem, Ben Carson, Lee Zeldin, or other? None of the current candidates. I wouldn't be shocked if it was Vivek. I wouldn't be shocked if it was Ben Carson. A lot of people, in fact, Ben Carson's trending today. But we'll see. Let's get into the topics because if I just keep rambling along, I'll never get to the show. Now, real quick, let me do, as I'm doing that, of course, I have to say thank you to people. First, thank you for the people who tweeted out the show. Share the stream with the people share the stream with the people you love and the people you hate, because, I don't care if they like me. I don't care if they don't like me. Just watch and see what's happening. Here's, thank you, though. Let's see, I got to scroll way down because a lot of people, you already put out the show. Thank you, Somnambul Nation. I'm going to retweet these as I go. Retweet. I'm still calling it retweet. Thank you, Somnambul Nation. Another guy, V, for sharing the show. TC, greatly appreciated. Let's see. Mike Savage, Blarg. Let's see. Hate Camel. Oh, no, that's Mansquatch. Mansquatch and Hate Camel have very similar avatars, and it always messes me up. Mansquatch, Tyler Alexander, Tyler F. Thank you for retweeting my tweet and so on and so forth. And just a reminder for those, I can't swear because my granddaughter's watching. Doggone it. Hi, Lily. I can't swear today. I got to be very, very careful if they're still watching. Alyssa, you still watching? Just put a exclamation. Oh, and also Jimmy Das Hotep, thank you for tweeting out the show. Greatly appreciated. Unfortunately, it's only on YouTube today. So things that are trending. Trending number one all morning. This is kind of interesting. Bill Belichick. Now, again, this is not, good morning, by the way, good morning, Jimmy Das Hotel. Trending number one all morning has been Bill Belichick. Now, this is not a sports show. I talk sports occasionally, only if it's really huge news. But there is, yes, they're still watching. Okay, I'm going to try not to swear then. Jethro Hetero, good morning, Brett Hayes. Oh, no, please. How am I going to do this? How am I going to get through this show? This is because I'm trying to talk about Anthony Fauci. Oh, that's painful. Okay, so here we go. Me trying to get through an entire show without swearing. Good morning, Green Badger Outdoors. And do not type any swear words in the chat, damn it. Oh, I just said, damn it. Well, that's not too bad yet, unless tomorrow I hear my granddaughter go, damn it, damn it, damn it. I don't want to hear that. Okay, so Bill Belichick's trending because looks like after 24 years, there's a strong possibility that Bill Belichick will no longer be on the sidelines of the New England Patriots. Breaking news. Now, this is a lot of people. There's a few people reporting this. The Patriots are moving on, and so is the greatest coach of all time. Bill Belichick won't be New England's coach in 2024, per me and Tom Pelissero, as his celebrated 24-year tenure, one that included 6 Super Bowl wins, is over. A new era awaits. So apparently, Robert Kraft has said, you've been here long enough, and maybe it's time to retire, even though, But during that time, he had 10 top 10 defenses 19 times, 6-time Super Bowl champions. Defenses came through in the clutch more often than not. You always knew how to play guys to their strengths, and they would fit how they would fit in your system. You are one of the main reasons for the Patriots dynasty. Clearly, and certainly it didn't hurt having Tom Brady as your quarterback who could follow his system to a T. Tom Brady, probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time also, even though he wasn't the best passer. I mean, he just threw a lot of short passes, and it worked for a long time. Good morning, Frank Cap. Good morning, Patio Furniture. Nice to see you guys. So anyway, that's big news. In the sports world, when a coach like Bill Belichick steps down, that's clearly big news. And the other trending topic is thanks, Bill. Now this one says the Patriots tank is complete. Top 3 pick in a generational quarterback class draft. Thanks, Bill, because they didn't do too well this year. But other people saying thanks, Bill, the greatest to ever do it. Like when Brady departed, there are mixed feelings, but can't deny what you have accomplished. Thanks, Patriot Nation. So lots of people thanking Bill Belichick. All right, so there you go. Also trending this morning, Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots. I don't need to put anything out here. Bill Belichick will want to continue coaching and is expected to draw interest from at least some of the other 7 NFL teams that currently have head coach vacancies, quite possibly the Atlanta Falcons, per league sources. Oh, well, that's news too. That's news. So let's see. Rumor has it the meeting today at noon with Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick is not about firing Bill Belichick. Rumors say Robert Kraft is retiring, Jonathan Kraft to take over the team. This would make sense because Jonathan Kraft always hated Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick didn't want to work for John Kraft. So there you go. That may be why he's stepping down. That's interesting. So we'll see what happens. That's everyone's speculating that Bill Belichick is done. Moving on, Amy Winehouse is trending. If you're familiar with the musician, the late musician Amy Winehouse, who was a very talented lady, and I really liked her music. I don't know if you do not. Some people didn't like her voice. I thought she was a great talent, but unfortunately had a lot of drug issues and died at a young age. Well, apparently there's a new movie about Amy Winehouse coming out called Back in Black. The trailer will be in the links, but I'm not going to play it because I just don't want to deal with that crap, the copyright stuff. So there you go. So you can check out the trailer for that if you're a fan of Amy Winehouse. Also trending this morning, core CPI. Oh, the Consumer Price Index. Now there's a little bit of a surprise. Well, I don't know if it's a surprise or not. Let's just say that they tried to make her go to rehab, and she said, no. That's true. They did try to make her go to rehab. Well, she'd been through rehab a couple times, but I'm not sure what actually caused her demise. It probably was something to do with her lack of rehab or such, but tragic because she was a great talent. And it's interesting because her music was kind of throwback music to, I wouldn't say 50 style, but just very R&B, 60s style R&B. And she was pretty good. She was very good talent. I loved her music. All right. Core CPI, the Consumer Price Index is trending because now, first let me preface this. Whenever it's even slightly better than predicted, all these left Democrat-leaning outlets make it sound like this is the greatest day in the history. Joe Biden's policies are working perfectly. Yes, the Inflation Reduction Act is doing its job, and thank God Joe Biden did it without the help of Republicans. Well, today it wasn't as good as they were expecting. It's slightly worse, and I'm not going to say it's, the end of the world, but the problem is, whenever the Consumer Price Index dropped even a tiny bit, the inflation rate, whatever, they would act like prices came down like exponentially because the Inflation Reduction Act doing its job. Well, today, data was mixed with a higher headline CPI, but the same core CPI. U.S. bonds should be rallying, but they are not. There for this is a two-stage event. Here comes the reversal, and whatever that means. Quick analysis. Now this is another one. Like this guy says, quick analysis. This report changes none. The 98% of core CPI increase came from services. 69% of that came from shelter. Shelter starts biting hard this spring. Okay, so here's the actual report. Breaking December CPI inflation rate rises to 3.4%, above expectations of 3.2%. That should be like, oh gosh, bonds should go up and this and that, and Biden sucks and yada, yada, yada. Look, we already know that the inflation rate over the last 3 years has been shit. Oops, I said a word. Damn it. Lily, I hope you're not listening. Has been poor, has been bad. And when you add it all up, boy, oh boy, people are spending a lot more money than they did 3 years ago, $15,400 per household on just basic shit, basic stuff. Damn it, I did it again. So, but anyway, core inflation fell. Core inflation fell to 3.9%, above expectations of 3.8. This is the 33rd consecutive month with inflation above 3%. And the first jump since September. Can the Fed really pivot right now? Fed's probably not going to drop interest rates. The Fed rate is what the Fed, fiat currency house, lends to banks so that they can lend it to people. So the Fed lends it at X rate, and then the banks lend it at a little bit higher rate, so the banks can make money and whatever. So overall CPI moved to 3.4% in December, year over year, 3.1. So basically, it went up a little bit, I don't see anyone talking about the Inflation Reduction Act right now. That's amazing. Not one single person talking about that. Consumer prices rose 0.3% in December, higher than expected, pushing the annual rate to 3.4%. Well, where are all the people just praising Joe Biden right now? They're not. I don't see anyone tweeting about that. They're all gone. All right. So that's that. Next. Someone named Kathy Wood is trending. Now, Kathy Wood apparently is some investor in Arkansas that is a prognosticator and yada, whatever. And she, CEO of Ark Investment. And she has doubled down on her 2030 Bitcoin price predictions. She's saying at bear case, 258,500. Base case 682,800 and bull case 1.48 million. Is that like for a total? That she's saying that's what it's going to be like, and Bitcoin's going to go up that much by 2030. Anyway, apparently this woman has 25% of her investment portfolio or financial net worth, or 25. Excuse me, not her investment portfolio, but 25% of her net worth right now is in Bitcoin. So this is interesting. Let's see. Let's see what she's. Is this her? This is what she says. Let's hear what she's saying here.
Can you give us an idea how much your net worth or how much Bitcoin or crypto linked you own?
Yeah, of my financial net worth, all of it is pretty much all of it is in innovation. Let's put it that way. It's just my degree of confidence in the depth of our research gives me. The courage people might say to be more aggressive in this realm.
Spit it out.
Either in our kind of funds and private funds, or crypto.
She could have answered this in 2 words.
Bitcoin. And I would say this is going to be a very rough guess because
sure, no problem.
I don't really.
Hello. Answer the question.
My guess is that excluding ARK, the company. And excluding
she does look like Kennedy. You're right.
Real estate, that of the financial net worth.
Spit it out.
It's at least 25%.
It took her. Okay. It took her 60.
Thanks a lot for your time.
It took her 64 seconds to say 25%. Good God. Anyway, so that's one big time investor who's very bullish overall on Bitcoin. Yippee. Okay. Next, The Hague is trending. Now, we talked about this before because South Africa is bringing a case at The Hague against Israel, claiming that Israel is committing genocide. So the first, and now this is interesting, and the way they're framing it this way. The first genocide in history where its victims are broadcasting their own destruction in real time in the desperate, so far, vain hope that the world might do something. That's someone named Blenny Garlai at the International Court of Justice at The Hague. This is it right here.
The international community continues to fail the Palestinian people, despite the overt, dehumanizing, genocidal rhetoric by Israeli governmental and military officials.
Now, she's the lawyer representing South Africa, talking at the International Court. Okay.
Military officials, matched by the Israeli army's actions on the ground.
Now, look, I'm going to say this again, and I know it's not necessarily a popular opinion with everybody, but sometimes when you commit an act of war against somebody, you get the war you asked for. And again, I feel as much sympathy as I can for the civilians caught up in this. But when the people you're having war against puts themselves among the civilians, there are going to be a lot more civilian casualties. And also I was reading somewhere that there's now a question of the numbers they keep putting out about this, talking about how many people died, that numbers might be inflated a little bit. I don't know, but I don't know because I don't know who to believe about anything over there. But clearly the oppressed ideology factors in here, because apparently the Palestinians, who have been often ever since 1948 given multiple opportunities to have this two-state solution, have absolutely refused to do anything like that, and who unfortunately groups popped up that have made it their job or their mission to destroy Israel and every Jew in Israel. Remember, here's something funny about this too. Not funny, but interesting. As I've been watching this whole thing, they always they say the Israelis and then versus the Palestinians, and this is occupied Palestinian land. And there's a little bit of a problem here. There's a problem. Yeah, I'm getting to that, Gun Fox. I see what you wrote there. The Palestinians, the people who were on that land, they all realized that half the people on that land were, or at least half, maybe more than half the people that were on that land were the Jewish people, even when that was established. Remember, Jewish people have been first of all, 70% of those people who live in Israel are also indigenous to the region. It's not, maybe 30% of the people who are in Israel that are Jewish, that are in the Jewish homeland, whatever, only about 30% are from like other parts of the world, mainly Europe, right? But 70% of those people already live there, already from there. It's already their land. They've been buying the land for years, since the early 1900s. And it's like, what when you say Palestine, because Palestine, it was not a country, it was a region, and it was the only time that area has ever been a country was when it was Judea, and then before that when it was the Kingdom of Israel. Other than that, it's been occupied land by multiple different factions over 2,000 some years, 4,000 years. Okay, and so the idea that this was some country called Palestine is ridiculous. It never was. It was a region that was named by. The only reason the name Palestine exists is because the Romans gave it a European name. Palestine is a European name. Syria Palestinia was named by the Romans to remove any trace, or at least remove the idea that this was a land of Jewish people. Judea. There's a reason it was called Judea. And the Romans, about 100 years after the death of Christ, wanted to try to erase that. So they changed it to name to Syria Palestinia, and then they changed the name of a bunch of cities. Now, a bunch of those cities are back to their old name back when it was Judea. But so for the Romans trying to, I wouldn't say ethnically cleanse, but they certainly trying to historically ethnically cleanse the region by naming it Syria Palestinia. So the idea, when they have stupid people say, "Oh, well, Palestine's existed for thousands of years," no, it hasn't. It absolutely has not. It was not. So anyway, it's stupid. But anyway, and I know not everybody here agrees with me on this, but I get it. But still. So anyway, they're continuing here.
Despite the horror of the genocide against...
And again, this genocide thing. Yeah, you started a war with somebody who's a lot stronger than you militarily. This would be like saying, well, the other Europeans and the Americans and Russians were doing a genocide of the German people when they were bombing Dresden. Yeah, well, I think the Germans are still here, and the idea that they've been doing a genocide in Palestine since the Arab, the Arab Muslims in Gaza have been growing exponentially. Numbers have been growing exponentially for years. It's just interesting. So I'm going to skip this though, but that's why The Hague is trending. That is why the International Court of Justice is trending. That is why South Africa is trending, because South Africa brought this, case to The Hague. So determined mood here in truly international crowd outside the Peace Palace at The Hague as we witness the opening of South Africa's case at the IGC accusing Israel of genocide in Gaza. It's not just Israel on trial today, it's the international community stopped the Gaza genocide. So a lot of people talking this way about it. More than 1,000 people demonstrating outside the International Court of Justice in The Hague. Now, this video is just mentioned The Hague. They're saying never be ashamed for sharing Israeli crimes on your social media. Okay, that's interesting. Let's see. Hundreds of multi-generation Palestinian families have been wiped out. This killing is nothing short of destruction of Palestinian life. It is inflicted deliberately. No one is spared, not even newborn babies. Adila Hassim speaking at the International Court of Justice. But here's another point. The first genocide in history where the victims are the ones who openly promise and celebrate genocide. This belongs to The Hague. So on this day we are witnessing all that is happening with the grace of Allah. We are looking forward to two important things which are within sight. Here, I'm gonna take this off. The first is the cleansing of Palestine of the filth of the Jews. Now remember, Jews are also indigenous to that region. 70% of Israelis are indigenous to the region. And for the uprooting, and they're uprooting from it, and this is within sight. 4 years, my brothers, by 2022, we will be rid of it. This is from 2018. The second thing is the establishment of the caliphate. After the nation has been healed of its cancer, the Jews, Allah willing, the fact that we are participating in the peaceful return march does not mean that we have abandoned the military path of jihad. Our finger is on the trigger. Our plants are operating and working day and night. Every day we invent something new, using all our strength, our nerves, our bones, and our flesh. Every day we manufacture more military power. The proof is that the enemy continues to be terrified of a war with the Izz al-Din al-Qassam martyr brigades and other brothers and in their other factions. It's unacceptable the Jews control some of the Arab states. What? Their regimes, their armies, their security agencies, while the people remain oppressed. O peoples of Arab and Islamic nation, and Palestinian people, you possess concealed power. So anyway, so it's, yeah, the genocide being committed on people who openly propose genocide of their enemy. So it's just it's a fascinating situation. Real quick, thank you, Ty. Oh, wait a minute, what? Tire of Fire and Flames. Tyre Alexander. By the way, Tyre Alexander, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Says this is exactly why I'm a staunch isolationist. How dare some cunts, not my citizens, demand I not defend myself against an aggressive force? And how many generations of your family have to live and die on a place before you become native. I say 3. So that's interesting because it's, oh, wait, Alyssa says, all right, for you to cuss, Dad, we're heading out to do a little shopping. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I can cuss now. Hello, Renee Mayette. How you doing? All right. So thank you, Ty Alexander. You are the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Let's put you on the board there. Okay. Yeah. So now this is interesting. What? And so a lot of people are celebrating this. This says watching African women and men fighting to save humanity and the international legal system against the ruthless attacks supported and enabled by most of the West will remain one of the defining images of our time. This will make history, whatever happens. Yeah, it'll probably stir up some warlike actions too if this continues to be the again, selling the oppressed versus the oppressor versus the oppressed language. So anyway, International Court of Justice is trending. South Africa's trending, all because of the same thing. But also, though, now this is okay. This is a surprise too. John Fetterman is trending because John Fetterman has weighed in on this and has made an interesting point, and we're going to just listen to it right here, see if we can get through some sentences here. But the idea that South Africa is the country that brought this on, John Fetterman has some words about that, and I'm sure you're going to be surprised when you hear him because he keeps surprising us.
Who are they really fighting? It's a group of cowards. They hide in tunnels. They hide behind civilians.
Oh.
They attack, kill, and mutilate children, women, and they do that? Stop talking about proportion on that. They shot their best shot on October 7th, and they would have taken more lives if they couldn't do that, but they couldn't do it. And now let's also talk about that. Now we're talking about genocide, and now South Africa is bringing that kind of a trial. Maybe South Africa being ought to sit this one out when they're talking about criticizing. Who are we?
Now, you didn't see that. He didn't get the whole picture there, but apparently he made a reference to the farmers in South Africa who are being kind of systematically rooted out. And it's interesting, I don't understand that strategy anyway, because the farmers are the ones who actually know how to do the farming part thing. Yes, I know there's Rumble problems again. I put the link to the YouTube on here. But anyway, he said, John Fetterman calls out South Africa for the genocide of white farmers. I'm starting to feel bad about mocking him. He can wear his hoodies and gym shorts all he wants if he keeps dropping more conservative talking points than people who claim to be conservative members of Congress. I don't know if he put where's the part? Okay, they have the same 47-second clip, but saying that maybe you ought to sit this one out. Now, let's see, responding to the libelous claim made against Israel by South Africa at the International Court of Justice. Now, some people are not happy about this, and Reaction Puerto Rico sent me this because just so you know, some people don't like hearing John Fetterman talk this way. So someone named Gazelle Barreto Fetterman, I think that's his wife, saying, 3 weeks into a social media break that may last another month or forever. P.S. Treating someone as simply someone's spouse is insulting and minimizing. P.S.S. Did you know male spouses don't get treated this way? P.S.S. No more cute animal pics for you. But anyway, someone here says, just realized that Fetterman's camera-thirsty devil wife disappeared from public view at the exact same moment Fetterman became a Republican for literally no reason. Now, wait a minute. There are people claiming that John Fetterman has become a Republican. Now, I wouldn't say he's become a Republican. I just say he's, but a lot of people on the right are praising him. Fetterman is inexplicably slowly transforming into a red pill machine for the liberals, and I suppose I'm here for it. It's like he came back a new man after all those health issues, and now he's disappointing all the shills who expected him to lie to people what happened. So this is something else.
And allies admit
There's a crisis at the border, and I don't know how anybody could pretend that there isn't.
an ally.
He seems to be getting his speaking voice back too. He doesn't stutter as much. So, I mean, good for him. I never cared about that part. I cared about his policy ideas, which I thought some were dumb. But on some things, clearly he is he's on a different plane than some of the people who expected him to just be like the squad or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Also trending right now is I'm trying to get through these trending topics real quick. This is the post that he gave me. Hertz is trending. Hertz rent-a-car. Now, I meant to do this near this core CPI business, kind of sticking the business news with the business news. But, Reacción Puerto Rico, who says Fetterman's just being tactical. Yeah, that could be too. The white dipped out because her besties hate her now. Yeah, that could be. So anyway, Hertz rent-a-car is trending. And why are they trending? And it caught me off guard when I saw this, but live news, Hertz is going to sell 20,000 electric vehicles in a shift back to gas-powered cars. And this is from the Financial Post in, Canada. Which I don't know. That's the only thing I know. I know the tune. I should probably learn the Canadian national anthem. I might have to sing that at a hockey game sometime. Anyway, so here, latest business news as it happens. Hertz Global Holdings plans to sell a third of its United States electric vehicle fleet and reinvest in gas-powered cars due to weak demand for the battery-powered options. People don't want to rent electric cars. Hello, Reese Donald. How you doing? The sales of 20,000 EVs began last month and will continue over the course of 2024, the rental giant said Thursday in a regulatory filing. Hertz expects to record a non-cash charge in its fourth quarter results of $245 million related to incremental net depreciation expense. The company expects to reinvest a portion of the proceeds from the sale of EVs into the purchase of internal combustion engine vehicles to meet consumer demand. The company expects this action to better balance supply against expected demand. They had too many damn electric cars. Nobody wanted them because they're a pain in the ass if you're traveling and, and people don't trust them. In October, Chief Executive Stephen Scherr said the company would scale back on EVs, which had made up 11% of its total fleet. Teslas represent 80% of that. He said EVs come with higher repair costs compared to the rest of its cars, which has hurt his bottom line. EVs will be slower than our prior expectations, he said during the company's third quarter earnings call. So the rental car companies are seeing the light, and the light is not good. The light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, another thing trending right now, Ben Carson. A lot of people are speculating that Ben Carson would be Donald Trump's vice presidential choice. Who knows? I'm not going to sing today. But anyway, and so let's see. Ben Carson, I just finished speaking in Davenport, Iowa, in my support of my friend Donald Trump. God isn't done with our country, and the people of Iowa know that. They are fired up for caucus day because the Iowa caucuses are coming up. Ben Carson on Trump, don't like him, vote anyway. A lot of people, here's Ben Carson quote talking about how people don't like Donald Trump, but.
And, a lot of people don't like him. They say the things that he says, and he's so coarse and he's mean, and I just couldn't possibly ever vote for someone like that. Well, there's actually a reason that God gave us eyes and ears and a brain. Because would you rather have somebody whose tongue is maybe a little wild, but has incredibly good policies that make your life better? And, a lot of people don't like him. They say,
it's funny. That sounds like some guy who always calls Donald Trump a jackass. Who could that be? Sound familiar? Who calls Hey, Jen T. Maxey, how you doing? Nice to see you. Aaron Meredith, what's up? So anyway, now let's see. Someone here says, Machete Slap, President Trump shouldn't pick his successor for 2028 as VP. He should pick someone who can help him put out the fire that Biden has set. Someone like Ben Carson would be perfect. So other peers, someone else saying that.
Who should Trump pick as a VP? Mercy, you first.
I just want to say, Mooch got a lot more time than Gorka and I did, okay? So we're going to take offense to that, number one. Number two, look, I think he needs to pick a loyalist. He needs to pick someone who's not worried about the 2028 election. Here's the deal. Our country is in crisis, the world is on fire, and we need immediate action, not someone that's thinking about who's going to their own candidacy in 2028. Ben Carson, I would even say Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
No, you're stealing my thunder.
Do
that.
Okay, so there's two pundits who want Ben Carson.
So you said,
okay, I'm going to skip the rest of this. Thank you, Ty Alexander, dropping another small bill to the tip jar. Saying, I found this nightmare and I want to share it with you. Okay, we're going to put it over in the links over there. Let's come back up before. Don't do this. Oh, for fuck's sake. Tyre. No. All right, guys, I'm going to show you what Tyre just sent me. I'm not going to read this right now, but the Pope says Marxists and Christians have a common mission. Oh, for fuck's sake. Tyre, I hate you. I'm not even going. No, we're not. I can't. Not right now. Not right now. Oh. Also trending is Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg. Yes. Good question there, Gun Fox. Are you trying to be Gun Fox? Are you trying to be Gun Fox? That's all I want to know. You are trying to be Gun Fox. Whoopi Goldberg is trending because she's, again, fear-mongering. She's fear-mongering Donald Trump again because that's what Whoopi does. Oh, that's pretty funny. When did Whoopi Goldberg start transitioning to be a predator? Anyway, here's, let's see if this works. Oh, this is another one of those ones that don't work. Let's try this again. Here we go. Let's see if this works. Looks like it's not going to work. Okay, we'll just refresh and start over. And hopefully, I got to be careful because you never know what's going to pop up when I don't want it to. Get off the screen there. Okay, there we go. All right, is this going to work this time? Let's see. Nope, maybe he took this down. Let's see if we can find the post that I was trying to find because clearly Whoopi Goldberg has one of the worst cases of Trump derangement syndrome ever. Did we not know that? Did we not already know that? Here's let's just get some Whoopi Goldberg TDS on the screen. Here's one.
Somebody who says, I'm going to be on day one, I'm going to be a dictator. Who says it to you, tells you, I'm going to put you people away. I'm going to take all the journalists, I'm going to take all the gay folks, I'm going to move you all around and disappear you. If that's the country
is that what he said?
You know who to vote for.
He said no such thing. He said no such thing. Good morning, Shrapnel. What's up? And also Sean. Sean's back in the house. What up, Sean DW? Every time I see your name, I think Dallas Fort Worth, but there's no F in there. But anyway, good morning, Sean. How you doing, brother? Let's see. Here we go. This is the one I want to show you. There he is. Let's try this one.
Do you see yourself, and would you ever consider being the conduit to that third party? Because I don't know.
She's talking to Liz Cheney right now.
As we knew
She's talking to Liz Cheney.
Will survive this.
Wants Liz Cheney to run as a third party.
We'll never have any more elections. There will be no more.
Okay, that is completely idiotic. Okay, there's no indication that Donald Trump would come in here and end elections. How would he do it? That's what I don't get. How would he do it? Because the president in the United States system, in our system, in our representative republic, democratically elected representative republic, has checks and balances. The president is not all powerful in our system. And anything remotely idea like he would, like the military is going to go with it over, they're going to go with Donald Trump and let him take over the country and have complete power. That's idiotic. That's why our system set up the way it is, so that can't happen. We have 3 co-equal branches of government, and the other 2 branches would not let him allow that. So it's just a stupid thought. But boy, oh boy, she's real worried about us becoming a dictator.
Stop it. And he's very clear about that. He wants to be dictator for life.
Really? Is that what he said? Have you ever heard him say that? He made a joke about he'd maybe be dictator for 1 day and that's it. And even that, he was joking about things he wanted to do. You mean like the day Joe Biden got into office and went straight to executive orders? That sounds like dictator. What are you talking about, Whoopi?
Okay. So I wonder, would you ever consider, please, would you, please?
Begging her. Why is she begging her? Because she knows Joe Biden's DOA, I shouldn't say DOA, dead in the water. But why Liz Cheney? Is there anyone who's going to vote for Liz Cheney over either of these 2? Except for Whoopi Goldberg, apparently.
Being that person, because I got to tell you, I don't understand how people can say, we're with you, we're with you, we're with you, and then when you need them, they go, oh, but we're with him now. Mm-hmm. I don't understand
Nobody was with her, that's why.
I don't understand how you find the grace not to be pissed at folks.
Oh,
you're not.
I'm
you know, you're mad at them, but you're not pissed at them, because if you were pissed at them, you would have given up on them, and you haven't.
Well,
and so, would you?
Look, I think that...
I'm begging you.
You're begging the wrong person, honey. I'm just saying, that's just dumb. That's just dumb. What are you talking about, Whoopi? So that's why she's trending, because she's, her Trump derangement syndrome is on high alert right now. There's a New York Post article about it too. View co-host says Whoopi Goldberg says Trump will round up and disappear journalists. I'm going to put that article out on the links from the New York Post. But she's insane. She is complete, full-on Trump derangement syndrome. She's been listening to too many January 6th committee reports and shit like that. She's lost her goddamn mind. View co-host Whoopi Goldberg on Tuesday warned her fellow co-hosts in the audience that failing to vote for President Biden would essentially be a vote for former President Donald Trump, rounding up journalists and gay people. Why would he round up, first of all, gay people? Donald Trump's as gay friendly as any Democrat. What is she talking about? What is she talking about? He came into office, the first president ever to come into office, who supported gay marriage from jump years ago. Why would he round up gay people? Jay Pylon's in the house. How you doing, Jay? Why would you even think that? He didn't. Journalists and gay people. Would he fight with journalists? Now let's see. Sonny Hostin claimed on the show that there is a stark divide among young voters on the Israel-Hamas war, and that the voting bloc who really supported Biden in 2020 over climate change says that the war in Gaza is an environmental justice issue, and they're going to abandon Biden over it. Goldberg appeared to blast the media. I'm going to put this on the screen since I'm reading it. What the hell? Goldberg appeared to blast the media for underplaying Biden's popularity among voters, especially among young adults. Apparently, now that the polls aren't in Biden's favor, Whoopi Goldberg doesn't believe in polls. Beware the media, she warned. The voting bloc that has lots of issues that they want to address, they do, and they have every right to demand that from whoever the candidate is going to be. Anyway, if you want to know what she said more than that, I'm moving on because I can't stand it. Because I got to talk about Anthony Fauci, Dr. Anthony Fauci. All right, let me get right to it. So Dr. Fauci, the supervillain of the United States of America. I think he's an evil human being. I don't know. He's either evil or he's just an asshole. And could be both, certainly. I put that in the description today. But he testified before the select subcommittee on the coronavirus pandemic over the last couple days. And they have put out this little primer here of the things that were said in that testimony. And so here are Dr. Fauci testimony takeaways. The COVID Select Committee has completed a 2-day, 14-hour transcribed interview with Dr. Anthony Fauci. Here are the most important highlights from day 2 of his testimony. During his testimony, Dr. Fauci claimed that the 6 feet apart social distancing recommendation promoted by federal health officials was not likely based on any data. Quote, "It just sort of appeared. And so we thought it sounded like a good idea." You know where that actually came from? That actually came from over in the UK. One of the health minister's daughters did a science project for high school and came up with the 6 feet rule. Actually, it was 3 feet in her science project, but this was a 6 feet rule, and it just popped up. Okay, he didn't say this in the meeting, but that is actually where it came from. That is actually where it came from a high school science project. And somehow they got into the lexicon of the greatest health ministers and health officials in the world that this 6 foot separation bullshit actually was going to do something. And, just like when you have to wear the mask, at the restaurant, but then you can take the mask off while you're eating. But if you get up to go to the bathroom, you got to put that mask back on. That's science right there, people. Because here's the thing. When you're sitting and eating, you cannot spread any types of diseases that are airborne because for whatever reason, there's a special bubble around your table while you're eating, but that bubble disappears as soon as you get up to take a piss. Anyway, also, Dr. Fauci acknowledged, this is from this summary here, Dr. Fauci acknowledged that the lab leak hypothesis is not a conspiracy theory. This comes nearly 4 years after prompting the publication of the now infamous, quote, proximal origin paper that attempted to vilify and disprove the lab leak hypothesis. Also, Dr. Fauci admitted that America's vaccine mandates during the COVID-19 pandemic could increase vaccine hesitancy in the future. Shocker. Dr. Fauci advised American universities to impose vaccine mandates on their students. Dr. Fauci played semantics with the definition of a lab leak in an attempt to cover up the inaccurate conclusion of proximal origin, which is the paper they wrote. It is impossible for him to defend proximal origin as definitive while simultaneously acknowledging that a lab leak is possible. Dr. Fauci agreed with President Trump's order that restricted travel from China and supported his further restriction on travel from EU countries and the United Kingdom. Dr. Fauci's transcribed interview revealed systemic failures in our public health system and light on serious procedural concerns with our public health authority. The committee looks forward to speaking with Dr. Fauci further during a public hearing this year. So this was apparently a closed-door hearing because I didn't see any video on it. Chairman Brad Wenstrup's statement following Dr. Fauci's 2-day testimony. Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic Chairman Brad Wenstrup issued the following statement after the second day of Dr. Anthony Fauci's transcribed interview. After 2 days of testimony and 14 hours of questioning, many things became evident. During this interview, Dr. Fauci claimed that the policies and mandates he promoted may unfortunately increase vaccine hesitancy for years to come. He testified that the lab leak hypothesis, which was often suppressed, was in fact not a conspiracy theory. Further, that social distancing recommendations forced on Americans sort of just appeared and were likely not based on scientific data. The Dr. Fauci transcribed interview revealed systemic failures of Republicans. Okay, it's basically the same thing this tweets section says. Now, and then people are saying, some of the comments of this, as always, conservative independent media got a major story right immediately, while mainstream media deliberately avoided the topic for years to protect a favorite political agenda. So let's get into, and then this looks like here someone kind of copied these same points and then put them down. Almost the exact same thing as the committee. He basically transcribed the committee. The actual source, the Committee on Oversight and Accountability. There's the Renstrup's statements. Here we go. Let's go with here. Fauci tells House COVID panel he's not convinced kids. This is the other part. This is incredible. So in the New York Post, he also told the panel he's not convinced kids suffered learning loss due to the pandemic school closures. I'm going to read that again. He's not convinced kids suffered learning loss due to pandemic school closures. Dr. Anthony Fauci, one of the top public health officials in the U.S. during the COVID pandemic, told House lawmakers on Tuesday he was not convinced that children suffered learning loss due to school closures his agency supported. Well, now remember, he didn't say the schools had to close down. We just thought that it was an idea that they may want to consider if they, wanted to make sure that they were being safe, but we never told anybody to shut down their schools. The former National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases director made the stunning admission on the second and final day of his 14-hour closed-door interview with the House Select Subcommittee on Coronavirus Pandemic, according to two of its members. Quote, he says he's still not convinced that there was learning loss, that in his view, that's still really open for discussion. End quote, said Representative Mike McLeod, Republican from Texas, who sits on the panel. I think if you ask any parent, they'll tell you that it was a major hit to their child's development. A member of former President Donald Trump's White House Corona Task Force and chief medical advisor to President Biden before his retirement at the end of 2022, Fauci repeatedly called for strict social distancing, masking, and lockdowns, but he was frequently denied responsibility for the fallout. Show me a school that I shut down and show me a factory that I shut down. Never. I never did, he told the New York Times Magazine in April 2023 when he was asked about his support for the heavy-handed policies. I gave a public health recommendation and echoed the CDC's recommendations, and people made decisions based on that. But I never criticized the people who had to make the decisions one way or another. Oh, really? You never criticized the governor of Florida? Really? Never once? Ever? Or the governor of North Dakota? Huh? So, Clouds and Fauci had shown an amazing ability to either forget what happened or then find ways to shirk any sort of responsibility for the influence that was had during his marathon sessions. They washed their hands of any sort of responsibility, saying, oh, those decisions were made by the school districts. But the school districts know if you don't follow the guidance that's coming out of the federal government, you open yourselves to lawsuits. So the U.S. Department of Education released statistics in September 2022 showing that reading scores among 9-year-olds had plummeted over the course of the pandemic to their lowest point in 30 years. Gee, that's no learning loss. That has nothing to do with closing schools. Well, math scores fell for the first time ever in a half-century of tracking. Tensions also flared over Fauci's refusal to discuss his role in the gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses in Wuhan, China, with House COVID panel members telling reporters that the ex-NIAID director, or NIAID doctor, continued to use an alternative definition of the term to avoid discussion. He was playing semantics with the term, and I think it's clear that the Wuhan lab was conducting gain-of-function research, said Representative Nicole Malliotakis, a Republican from New York, another panel member told the Post. So he's trying to change the story. Now, is this the one? Oh, that's the same one. I have several. I have several clips of Dr. Fauci basically lying his ass off. So here's remember when he said that, is this the one where he said, I wasn't leaning strongly one way or the other. I wasn't leaning strongly one way or the other when it came about the lab leak. So listen, here's some clips about whether or not he thought the lab leak theory was something strongly done or another.
If it may have been a lab, may have been nature, we're supposed to look forward, then why did Dr. Fauci work so hard for just one of those theories?
What do you say to that? I almost have to laugh at that.
Neil,
I mean, that's totally bizarre. I wasn't leaning totally strongly one way or the other.
Not at all. I wasn't leaning at all for entirely one or another.
Flashback. What I do feel strongly about is that this was a spillover from an animal species to a human. Strongly suggesting that, in fact, it was a natural occurrence. Very strongly indicating that it was a natural spillover.
Yes.
Strongly points to this being a natural occurrence.
Pointing much more strongly.
Yes, it was a natural occurrence.
Very, very strongly. Strongly favors a natural occurrence.
I wasn't saying strongly. I didn't really mean strongly.
One way or the other. It's very, very strongly leaning towards this. It could not have been artificially or deliberately manipulated.
Very strongly.
Lied. There's a distinct anti-science.
Okay, so there you go. That's from Racket News. And there's another even longer one here. Let me go back though, because I want to just go down the Fauci thread now, because there's just so much in it, and that's all I'm doing today anyway. By the way, I did have this. Oh God, no, Tyre. I just accidentally clicked on your article again. You might be in the hate column now. I'm just saying. Okay, let me go back to here. Dr. Fauci, here we go. Dr. Fauci. Let's find some of Dr. Fauci's greatest hits. Now, there's other people talking about. Now, here's something interesting, though. And this is one fault that I would have to give to Donald Trump. By the way, good morning, Select a Boy. Yeah, boy. Trump now seems to be saying that he didn't have great confidence in Anthony Fauci, but he absolutely followed every recommendation that Fauci gave. Even Fauci gave him credit for that. All the people who blame Trump for the performance of the United States during the pandemic should be directly faulting Dr. Anthony Fauci, because Anthony Fauci absolutely says that Donald Trump did what they recommended. Said they followed him. Everything he did was something we recommended or whatever, right? Now, the DeSantis camp is probably critical of Trump on this, rightfully so. Okay, so here's let's see. Here's President Trump in Iowa. If you go back and look at the records, okay, listen to this Trump statement back then. Here
and of course, Ron DeSantis would definitely argue with your characterization of how he handled it.
But if you go back and look at the records, you will see that the biggest fan of Dr.
Oh, by the way, this is funny because what Trump's about to say here, because Ron DeSantis got it right, or at least saved his state a lot of grief compared to other states who followed the federal recommendations. And listen to what Trump says here. This is one of those things where I go, Donald Trump, listen, sometimes you know that what comes out of your mouth doesn't seem to match what happened in the record. And this is where I'm going to be criticizing Mr. Trump.
Characterization of how he handled it.
But if you go back and look at the records, you will see that the biggest fan of Dr. Fauci was Ron DeSanctimonious. He was a big fan. He said, I go by, exactly, quote, I go by what Dr. Fauci said. He said that 2 months in, all the way through.
Well, 2 months in, of course. Every governor in the country went by 2 months in because they trusted him at first and until they started to figure out, oh, this guy's full of shit. And Donald Trump, please, stop doing this because you did everything the great good doctor told you to do. The only thing you pushed back on was the numbers, okay? The numbers of what was, what you thought the actual, the death rate was going to be. And you were right on that. You were spot on in the end because it's 0.3%. But let's not pretend that you didn't follow the recommendations of your team. And you were very proud of that. And people gave you complete, utter hell saying that this all was your fault when you followed every recommendation your team made. So the idea that Ron DeSantis was the biggest fan is kind of irrelevant when they're following the federal guidelines, which you and your team put out there. So don't. This annoys me a little bit.
And then eventually changed when it wasn't, that wasn't the dessert of the day. But
who? I'm going to give DeSantis credit. He was one of the few who did change. Him, Kristi Noem, there are a couple others. But the idea that everyone in the beginning was trusting the CDC, is that unusual? Is that unusual? They're going to trust the CDC and the National Institute of Health? Dr. Anthony Fauci, the great Dr. Anthony Fauci? What's wrong with that? Because you were out there promoting Anthony Fauci as the guy leading the bus.
Ron DeSantis was a big Dr. Fauci fan, and nobody wants to cover that. I say it every time.
Okay, and so I'm a little irritated by that. So just saying. And again, here it is. We cannot allow Anthony Fauci to escape accountability. I'm the only candidate who will bring reckoning for what the tyrants like Fauci did to our country during COVID. Here's another one. Here's Fauci in March 2021 saying that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was virtually 100% protective against hospitalization and death. Remember that now, because he's changed his tune on that too. Knowing the results, now it's easy to say that in the aftermath, but they didn't test any of this stuff. There is no long-term testing on the end of these vaccines.
I would definitely take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. My name is Dr. Anthony Fauci, and I'm the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and the chief medical
they restricted
advisor
this
to President
because of
Biden,
blood cut
and I'm going
risks.
to answer questions about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. This is a vaccine that works, and it only requires one dose. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine uses a particular what we call vaccine platform, and you inject it into the body sees that protein, makes it a good immune response against the entire virus.
Now remember, this is Johnson & Johnson vaccine, again, is the one that they ended up, the FDA started putting restrictions on it in 2022 because of the blood clot problems it was causing. So interesting. Oh, I 100% recommend this. And again, this is the part where he admitted, I'll put the article about him admitting about the social distancing thing too. Dr. Anthony Fauci confessed to lawmakers Tuesday that the guidance to keep 6 feet of separation, ostensibly to limit the spread of COVID-19, sort of just appeared without scientific input. Fauci revealed to the House Select Committee on the Coronavirus Pandemic that the 6 feet apart recommendation championed by him and other U.S. public health officials was likely not based on scientific data. Oh, really? Really? No idea. No, it was somebody's science project. We know that. According to Chairman Wenstrup, schools nationwide remain closed well into the second year of the pandemic as a result of the social distancing guidelines, which were disputed by both research studies and other health officials. It never struck me that 6 feet was particularly sensical in the context of mitigation. Dr. Ashish Jha, the dean of Brown University School of Public Health, who served as the President Biden's COVID response coordinator for 15 months, told the New York Times in March 2021, "I wish the CD would just come out and say this is not a major issue." Asked about the study in Massachusetts schools that found just 3 feet of distance between students resulted in similar COVID case rates, Fauci said the same month Centers for Disease Control and Prevention was very carefully reviewing the data and would likely update them. A top White House advisor told two presidential administrations. Fauci transcribed interview before the House COVID panel revealed systemic failures in our public health system and shed light on serious procedural concerns with our public health authority, according to Wenstrup. Those failures included foisting vaccination mandates on schools and businesses. After 2 days of testimony and 14 hours of questioning, many things became evident. During this interview today, Dr. Fauci claimed that the policies and mandates he promoted may unfortunately increase vaccine hesitancy for years to come. So we already read that too. So Yeah, that revelation about the 6 feet. Oh, it had no real basis in science. It had no basis in science. How long did we do the 6 feet thing? How many little dots on the floor of the grocery store you went to did you stand on waiting for your line? How many grandmas couldn't see their kids when they were dying? A lot of people very angry about this whole thing. Now, someone here, Donald Trump lied about Ron DeSantis last night, claiming DeSantis was a big Fauci fan. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. And I'm gonna call it, Trump doesn't get any credit for that one because that's false. Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, Fauci admits that the public health guidance on 6-foot social distancing was pseudoscience. He could and should have said the same of a suite of policies: plastic barriers, one-way floor stickers, school closures, mask mandates, vax mandates, based on similarly shaky science. So that's what Dr. Bhattacharya says. Let's see. Anything else here? Fauci lies through his teeth on handling of the COVID pandemic. This man should be under the jail. Oh, and here's a reminder. Oh, that's just a reminder that Dr. Anthony Fauci eats his boogers. Oh, come on. Stop that. Ew. Yuck. Yuck. All right. And let's see. Oh, Dr. Fauci, America's doctor, allegedly runs away from his COVID legacy in House interviews. So I'll put that article out. We won't go through it. Anyway, guys, that is going to conclude the show. If you want to read this thing about the Pope, more power to you. Again, Pope says that Marxists and Christians have a common mission. Oh my God, Pope Francis wants the courage to step outside the box and an opening dialogue for new paths. Christians as well as socialists, Marxists, communists have a common mission, said the pontiff, citing practical examples. Except the Marxist says it's no religion, right? Isn't that part of Marxist principles? The Pope encouraged Marxist-Christian dialogue to work together for the disadvantaged and against corruption and abuse of power. Christians as well as socialists, Marxists, and communists should build a better fraternal future for a world divided by wars and polarization, said Francis at a reception in the Vatican on Wednesday. He said it was important to overcome rigid, divisive approaches, conduct disputes with an open heart, and listen to one another without excluding anyone on political, social, or religious grounds. Do not allow finance and the market to dictate law, the Pope urged his guests. They should not stop dreaming of a better world in which ideals such as freedom, equality, dignity, and fraternity are upheld. These ideals are a mirror of God's dream for humanity. Ouch, hello, Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
I'm not reading this. I can't do it. I got to go anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'm here 10 o'clock Eastern, usually around that time. Next week, and this is a big damn deal. Next week, celebrating 5 years of the Morning Night Live. We're going to do 5 shows, hopefully with guests each day, and do all kinds of... Is that the Snarky? Oh, did you just get here? Were you here earlier? As we needed to further prove that Pope Francis is an antichrist. Ouch. Yeah, all next week we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate 5 days. 5 days for 5 years. We're going to celebrate the 5th anniversary of the Morning Night Live. I'm going to get on the horn and get some people to drop by, have some friends come over. Some of the people instrumental in the not only the origin of the show, but some people that we've had as guests before that were some of my favorite guests, hopefully. And we may even do a call-in show on Friday. Looking very much forward to it. I just, as I figured out that that's next week, I figured I'm going to scramble and see who I can get to join me. But again, I'm going to bring in some of my favorite guests and have them drop by at different times, different days, and I'll probably have a schedule at least by Monday. Hopefully, I'll have a schedule on Saturday. If you follow me on Locals, I will be adding to that schedule. So I'm going to try to get HB, Lords of the Night, Hotep Jesus, Canon, and Jay and maybe Ricada. I'm gonna call a bunch of people, see if I can get them to drop by. So we'll see who we can get over here. But and I would like to have I'd love to have Gothics show up. I'd love to have well, there's a bunch of people and some that may have never been here before. We'll see what happens. But there's specific people that I want to come that week because they were all kind of people who either inspired me or did some stuff for me that really helped this show, and I want to make sure that we get those people on here. So anyway, that's it for today, though, people. Thank you very much. I'm going to put the links to all these tweet threads and whatnot and articles into the chat before I go. Also, it'll be in the description of the show after the outro, during the outro. So stick around for that, and as soon as you see that, then you can click and save and whatever you want to do. So thank you so much. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.